Take a look at this video, which I assume was posted originally as an Instagram story on November the 6th.
Worst thing in the world. All right, this needs to be documented. What's the date today? 6th. The 6th of November. The greatest news, some of the greatest news in my life just happened. I can't say anything about it. Fuck yes! Oh! I can't wait to share with you, but they won't let me share anything. I want you to remember this date, November 6th. Mwah! You know who you are? Mwah! Mwah, maestro. Mwah!
Okay, now take a look at this video from ET Canada from a day ago where Jason Momoa is promoting his new project, Slumberland.
Now, Jason with Henry Cavill back in the tights as Superman. I gotta say, man, it looks like things are open for the JL to come back together, maybe take on Black Adam. What are your thoughts?
I think with Peter Safran and Mr. Gunn at the helm now of DC, I'm very excited about that. There's a lot of cool things going to be coming up, and one of my dreams come true will be happening under their watch. So stay tuned.
Very interesting. And Jason Momoa, as we all know, is a very excitable guy. He's very energetic, he's very heartfelt, he's very passionate, and every time he has been excited about something, even in the past, it's been rightfully so, and I'm wondering what's got him so excited. Very specifically, in the first video I showed on November 6th, where he was talking about remember this day, greatest news of his life, he was blowing kisses to the camera, and he says something about, you know who you are. I don't know who he's talking about. I have some theories and some ideas. I also have some theories and some ideas on what he could be so excited about. I really wish we just straight up knew. Of course, DC is going to be a little more secretive on their projects moving forward because they can't really tell us what they have planned right now, and there's a multitude of things that could be happening. Now, the biggest thing I'm hearing right now is that it could potentially be news on what he has heard about Justice League 2. And some of the biggest things I've heard about the rumor of a Justice League 2 is that the entire cast will be returning for Justice League 2. And I mean the entire original cast from Zack Snyder's Justice League. Ben Affleck, Henry Cavill's Superman, Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman, and so on. Cyborg and the Flash, I don't know what they're going to be doing with those characters. And number two, I've also heard that it is supposed to be Andy Muschetti who is going to be directing Justice League 2, which I find really interesting. I don't want to say in a good way or a bad way. I don't know how to feel about that. I don't know what Andy Muschetti has done to really prove to me he can take a hold of a Justice League movie. I know I've been dogging on the Flash film for a long time, and I probably still will until that film comes out. Personally, I don't think it's going to be good. I know over the past couple of months, if not longer, a lot of people who have said they have test screened the movie have been saying that it's amazing, it's a grand film, it's tested the highest of any DC movie in recent history. I really just don't believe it. I think it's a lot of people trying to get other people excited or talked about more, considering what this film has been going through. Production hell, constant delays, and of course the madman himself, Ezra Miller. I can't sit here and talk bad about Andy Muschetti. I don't know what he's capable of. I just find it very interesting that a man whose movie hasn't even been released yet and is still about 8 months delayed is going to be taking hold of a Justice League 2. I don't know how accurate that could be. That does come from Casey Walsh, who in recent history has been a little hit and miss, so I don't know what's going to happen there. I do believe what has Jason Momoa so excited does involve Justice League news. I just don't know if I'm buying the Andy Muschetti news. Now, it's clear as day that Jason Momoa is super excited to be having James Gunn and Peter Safran on board heading the DC universe. Jason Momoa is clearly very passionate and very confident in James Gunn's skills to take over DC, which is a good sign. Other than Justice League 2 being the very prominent choice of what has gotten him so excited, there's a couple of other things that could have done it too. They are doing reshoots of Aquaman right now. I'm actually not too sure if it's done or not, but that has been recent. Maybe there's something they threw in that movie that's gotten him really excited. There could be other things that maybe he has teased in and he has shot secret scenes for. I mean, he's done it before with something like Peacemaker. Maybe he's done it again. Maybe he does have news outside of Justice League form, but news about Batman or about Superman. We all know that Ben Affleck is replacing Michael Keaton in the Aquaman film. Maybe there's more than meets the eye. And then there's this one that I've seen talked about a lot, which, I mean, sure, if you're excited about this, you're excited. I just don't know how much this would have to do with Jason Momoa. One of James Gunn's first tweets after being announced the head of DC, he put a picture up of Lobo, and that teased the idea that maybe Lobo was getting his own movie. Maybe Lobo would show up in a Superman film. Maybe Lobo even shows up in a Suicide Squad film for some reason. I don't know what the situation there is going to be. Maybe Jason Momoa knows something about a Lobo announcement or an appearance, which I really don't know why that would get him so extremely deadly excited. I know a lot of people have talked about how Jason Momoa would be a fantastic Lobo, and I think he would too. Don't get me wrong, I really enjoy him as Aquaman. He's a face value type of Aquaman. You take him for what he is and you just simply appreciate it. Would he have been my first choice if I was casting an Aquaman or a Justice League? No, he wouldn't have, but I don't hate it by any means, especially his tattoos. It really adds to his character. But I will say this, in another dimension, he is casted as Lobo, and it is a brilliant casting choice and a brilliant portrayal. But this is the thing, they're not going to get him to play Aquaman and Lobo. That would be very, very strange, really, really weird on how you get around something like that, especially if it's in a DCU. So yes, whereas maybe a Lobo announcement would be exciting, I don't know why he would be so ecstatic about something like that. Now, I do want to go back to the end of that Instagram story video he put up, talking about how you know who you are. He called this person Maestro. Usually that can define somebody who is a very prominent or well-identified figure. Now, I've seen a lot of comments from people on Twitter and Instagram, and I really don't know how they know this, but apparently they've been saying that Maestro is actually a nickname to Andy Muschetti. Never heard something like that before, but if that's the case, then maybe this is what's going on. Maybe it is a Justice League 2 directed by Andy Muschetti. But I'm going to throw a curveball into that, and I'm going to say maybe it's somebody else. Now, I know a lot of people would be very excited about this and very happy, and I know a lot of people would cry about this. But what if it potentially means Zack Snyder? I'm sorry, I could not make this video without mentioning something about Zack Snyder. It is a very big possibility. The reason why it's a big possibility is because of a few things. First of all, Zack Snyder is the only person who has helmed a Justice League movie, and by God, no, I am not throwing in Joss Whedon into that conversation because he did not handle a Justice League at all. So Zack Snyder's the only one to have done it and to have done it really well. Number two, Zack Snyder is responsible for all of these castings, if not for most of these castings at the very least, especially Jason Momoa as Aquaman. And we know that Jason Momoa and Zack Snyder are very close friends, and we also know that Jason Momoa appreciates Zack Snyder's storytelling. That is definitely something that could get him excited. Number three, a lot of people have been asking for Zack Snyder to continue his Justice League story. And even though we probably will never get a shot-for-shot storytelling the way he wanted to do it a couple years ago, maybe Zack Snyder comes on board again and does another Justice League story in another fashion, and it leads somewhere else. Number 4, Zack Snyder did post a video recently while on the set of Rebel Moon where he congratulated Henry Cavill's return as Superman. And he also says in that video that Henry Cavill is the best man who's ever played the Superman character, and he cannot wait to work with him again one day. That could literally mean nothing. It could simply just mean Zack Snyder hopes to one day work with Henry Cavill. It doesn't mean that he's working on a Man of Steel 2 or a Superman sequel or a Justice League sequel. It could mean nothing, or it could mean everything, which leads me into number 5. James Gunn and Zack Snyder are very, very good friends. They both love each other's work, and they probably talk to one another behind the scenes a lot more than we know or think. There could be a possibility that James Gunn has thought, you know what, Zack Snyder was done dirty and he's got to come back in some sort of capacity. Director, producer, I don't know what it would be. James Gunn is in charge now. He could pretty much make any executive decision he wants. I have no idea of a relationship that Jason Momoa and Andy Muschetti might have with one another, other than rumors that Jason Momoa's Aquaman might show up in the Flash film. I'm actually not sure if that's confirmed or not. I haven't really been paying attention to the Flash film anymore. But if someone does know or has heard things that them two are actually good friends in real life, just hit me down in the comments below and let me know, because I've never heard of something like that. The only person returning to DC that would really give me the idea of him being super excited would be Zack Snyder. That's the only person I can think of. Like I said, there's a lot of possibilities here, and even though the main possibility is a Justice League 2, it could be maybe something we don't know about in Aquaman 2, maybe something about Aquaman 3, maybe it's a cameo appearance of Jason Momoa in another project that opens up something bigger. Maybe it's the return of Ben Affleck as Batman. Maybe it's about Henry Cavill's Superman. Who knows? There's a lot of things going on right now that we don't know about, and hopefully we find out very soon what he is so excited about. But anyways, everyone, after all this speculating and theorizing, now it is your turn to leave in the comments below what you are speculating and theorizing. Other than Justice League 2 being the big possibility, what do you think could be getting him so excited? But as per usual, that is it for this video, everyone, and I will talk to you all very soon.